So it has just ended day 6 of the trial, where both the defense and the prosecution have rested their cases. And there now what's left to do is the closing statements, and then we're going to get over to the jury's decision after that, where they'll have to deliberate.
Karmelo Anthony is charged with murder in the death of Austin Metcalf. Anthony's attorneys claim the stabbing was self-defense. Our Trevor Sahaki is live outside of the courthouse. And Trevor, the prosecution rested its case on Saturday, and the defense is continuing to make its case today.
Yeah, that's right, Karen. The defense is now on its 3rd witness of the day today. That's yet another student who was at the track meet on the day of the stabbing. The pattern of questions from the defense seems to be aimed at showing how Karmelo Anthony was not out of place under another team's tent on the day of the stabbing, and how Austin Metcalf provoked the altercation between the two of them. Now, this comes after the defense briefly questioned a Frisco police officer who confirmed it is legal to carry a knife in Texas. Before that, the first witness of the day was another student who was at the track meet. He described seeing Karmelo Anthony under the Memorial High School tent, and at first everything seemed normal. Then he saw what he thought might be a fight breakout. Quote, "What did you see when you first noticed something was wrong?" Witness, "I saw the arms go out. I see arms make contact with Karmelo." The witness then described Anthony's emotional state after the stabbing, calling him, quote, "distraught." However, when the prosecution cross-examined the witness, it emphasized that he did not see the actual stabbing. He was on the field at the time. Quote, "You had a story in your head when we visited, correct?" Witness, "Yes." "And when you saw the video, your eyes were open to what actually happened. Is that right?" Witness, "Yes." The witness also told the state he would have left another team's tent if he had been asked to, if he was in a similar situation.
We have said that several times before now. We've talked about this, just things that as people growing up and played team sports and stuff like that in high school and things like that, it was like an unwritten rule that you just don't sit under other people's tents. And then someone would come up to you and be like, "Oh, you're not supposed to sit here," and then ask you to leave. That's a common thing that happens. And if you say no, of course, then we just start to fight, but never into stabbing someone. Or they might try to. It's a crazy situation. Let's keep going into this.
Is expected to go through the end of the week. Live in McKinney, Trevor Sahaki, CBS News, Texas.
So now let's jump over into this next video where we get more details about what the witnesses said for the defense.
Defense attorneys for Karmelo Anthony making their case, claiming he acted in self-defense when he fatally stabbed Austin Metcalf at a high school track meet. The state rested his case on Saturday. Brooke Taylor is live in McKinney, Texas, to bring us up to date on this case. Brooke.
Hi, Bill. Well, the testimony during this trial has been emotional. The jurors heard from more than a dozen students that were under the tent and saw the stabbing. Now, prosecutors straight up asked several of these witnesses, was this self-defense? And they simply answered no. So Karmelo Anthony, he is charged with murder after admitting to fatally stabbing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf in the chest during a high school track meet last year. Investigators say the confrontation started after Anthony was sitting under another school's team tent. Witnesses testified that Metcalf repeatedly asked him to leave. Jurors were shown grainy surveillance footage showing the physical confrontation lasted just seconds. Now, an 18-year-old witness who knew both Anthony and Metcalf took the stand. He testified, quote, "Karmelo said, 'You will have to move me.' Austin put his hand on his back. I saw Karmelo's hand go in the backpack. We're at a track meet. I wouldn't expect anything to be in there," Karmelo said. "Touch me, you'll have to move me and find out," trying to provoke him. Then what happens, the prosecutor asks. The witness says Austin put his hand on him and falls back. How was Austin trying to move him? The witness says it was him trying to move him off his seat, a soft shove. A 16-year-old witness then testified that, quote, Anthony repeated, "F y'all, I'm not going to leave." He said Anthony also threatened, "Touch me and see what happens," while Metcalf told him, "I'm not going to fight you." And then notably, this was big over the weekend, one of the defense's own witnesses during cross-examination said, quote, "I think Karmelo was in the wrong." Prosecutors added, did Karmelo Anthony provoke the confrontation? The witness answered yes. Now, the state rested after calling 21 witnesses. Now the defense presenting their case. We're expected to hear from more of their witnesses today, Bill.
Wow. Okay, Brooke.
Wow. Now that's a lot of stuff to break down. Now let's get over into the AI breakdown, just of more stuff, because I believe everything, all the witnesses have been testified. So let's get over into it. So both the prosecution and defense have officially rested their cases in the murder trial of the 19-year-old Karmelo Anthony for the fatal stabbing of Austin Metcalf in April 2025. Following the 3-hour midday break, the defense team officially rested its case on Monday afternoon. Following the prosecution rested its case over the weekend. Hold on. So no testimony from Anthony. So that's a big thing right there. A lot of people thought that he was going to take the stand and try to plead his own case, and a lot of people thought that would help, but he did not testify. He chose to remain silent. This case was moved to closing arguments on Tuesday morning. So that's the next step, is now it's got to go to the closing arguments before they get the jury to begin their deliberations. So the defense witnesses, so we got a high school track teammate testified that he saw Austin Metcalf push Anthony first, supporting the defense claim of self-defense. However, prosecution aggressively challenged him on cross-examination by using the video evidence to suggest that the witness wasn't looking in the direction when the physical altercation began. Now, we've all figured that he touched him first. I've never gone against that. But the whole thing with self-defense is that, we've mentioned this several times, is that it has to be equal and proportionate. Someone throws a balled up piece of paper at you, you cannot retaliate by throwing a desk at them. That just, the proportions are wrong. So we know that the state prosecutors emphasized that Anthony helped provoke the entire encounter by refusing repeatedly requests to leave the team's tent. A final witness noted that Anthony was upset after the incident and had warned the victim not to touch him. Well, that is the end of the 6th day of trial. So now the next thing, like we talked about, is to go into closing statements, and then finally we have the jury deliberation. Now remember, a lot of this was playing on, well, a lot of people talked about how there is no black males or black people on the jury. And some people are wondering if that's fair or if that's not fair, depending on the situation. But overall, it's for us to decide and think of what we can before, but the jury gets to decide on what they think is right and wrong in this case. So tell me, y'all, what are your thoughts on this situation? Do you think that he was in self-defense when he stabbed Austin Metcalf? Or do you think it was just outright murder? Now, it's possible for him to get sentenced between 5 and 99 years if he is found guilty. We'll have to wait for his sentencing to find that out. But let me know your thoughts on that situation. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. It's a crazy situation, but we are keeping up with this, and we will, when the jury finally makes a decision. The real question is, will there be protests or will there not? Because I feel like there's going to be something. But